What up, Oates?
What's up, OSD? I just I swear I just popped back in here.
Oh, it's all good.
I
Yeah, did you
swear I
hear anything I've
did.
been saying?
No, I didn't hear nothing. So I'm gonna have to listen to the playback. But I mean, you can, if it was regarding me, you can go
Yeah.
ahead and give me the spiel now.
Yeah, I was just saying that I heard the conversation that you were having with Biz, and I'm just like, man, you should have just called that dude out on everything that you was telling me over here. You know, hearing him speak about those underage children in the manner that he did, and knowing that that was disgusting and tasteless, even with the fact of him having that in his background, I was thinking you was going to at least let him know that. You know what I'm saying? Especially the conversations, we had over here when I played his words, and you yourself said that I wasn't lying on him. And for him to have a conversation with you and tell you that I was lying on him and just saying egregious stuff when you know those is lies that he telling, and that he shouldn't even be speaking in that manner with that kind of shit on his background. That's basically what I'm saying.
OSD. I believe I. Well, maybe I didn't. How can I say it? Maybe I didn't handle it like you would handle it or other people would handle it, but I did say to him, like, after everything that's been said, everything that's been seen, do you think that's really like the best way to go about it? And he was saying it was about for him. I got to understand it from him. He was saying this is content, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's pretty much all it's about for you is content. So after everything that's been said, I asked him, and I couldn't really get everything out because he kept like interrupting me.
Right.
But I was saying it was just like after everything that's been said, everything that's been seen. I asked him, I'm like, do you really care? I believe I asked him, I'm like, do you care about what people think about you? I know you care about what people say because that's the only time I see you going to fuck off. But if you actually care about what people think about you, then you wouldn't do this. But then it was somebody else on the panel. I can't remember who. And I was like, why don't you just stop talking? Just stop speaking on it.
But
Stop.
why would you tell him to do that knowing he gonna do it?
No, I didn't know. I'm see that okay, that's ignorance on my part. I'm not knowing he's gonna do it. I'm not for real, because
And the
I
reason
wouldn't
why
do it.
and the reason why I said that, Mr. Oaks, is because while you was on a panel, he playing R&B songs and calling
Yeah.
out content creators' underage daughters and singing to them.
Exactly. And that's what did I say when he was doing that? I don't remember me
See,
saying
I,
nothing.
I, I could well, I couldn't hear anything you saying because he over talking you, and you wasn't demanding that same respect that you was giving him a speaking. So I'm sitting back like, well, damn, is Mr. O's letting him talk over him and answer questions that he's asking him? Like, I didn't understand that conversation, man.
No, bro. Let's listen to me. Listen to me. That right there is um how can I put this? What the shit that he said, as far as what you had played, as far as what you, because I went up there and I told him, I was like, I got something I need to talk to you about. He was like, talk to me about it now. I was like, no, you drunk and da 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 da. And he was like, no, you might as well, because I know what you want to talk to me about. So
Right,
apparently he was watching.
right.
Apparently he had been watching me or seeing me over here, and knew that I knew um, what the fuck he had said.
Right.
Okay, so it was like, bruh, like you, first thing, it's like, do you give a fuck about what people say about you? I mean, what people think about you. Okay, if the shit is not true and you're trying to deter, or not deter, but if you're trying to like convince, I understand you pissed off, you mad or whatever, but this is the way you choose to fight back by giving somebody, and you know this shit ain't gonna die. And I told him, I was like, you giving people more bullets. It's like having I think I said this on the live. It's like giving people more bullets. You're having a shootout with niggas. You on one side of the street and they on the other, and they run out of bullets, and you go over like, here, take these. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so you, and then when once he said it was content, I think he pretty much lost me then.
But see, that's what I mean, Oaks. You should have told that motherfucker right then and there, that shit, it ain't right. It don't make sense. Like, even when singing the underage, even the part where he asked you, Mr. Oaks, before we go anywhere else in the conversation between us or change the subject, do you really think I'll be over here talking about children? You said no. You just want to agitate niggas. Come on, Mr. Oaks. You supposed to kept it real in that moment. That wasn't real.
No,
that wasn't real, Mr.
Did
Oaks.
I say? Wait a minute. Hold on. I said he came over to agitate. He just want to agitate niggas.
He asked you, do he really be over on that channel talking about children? And you said no. I just think you trying to agitate niggas. That wasn't real.
Okay, I'll wait a minute. If you really think I'll be over here talking about underage children, no, you just be trying.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. See if you can grab that. I mean that. What as far as what I said, because I believe I told him that night, you tipsy or you drunk, I'm tipsy and I'm high. But pull it up, OSD, because I can stand a checking.
Yeah, man, that stuff was crazy, man.
No, but that's what the I didn't even mean to take that into the new year. I meant to address that prior to the new year. But it just so happened, it was just like it was other things. But go ahead. To see if you
he told you he wanted to have a conversation. So then you should have just ran it down on him. And these are all things that, of course, you how you viewed it. I played the words over here. You said that ain't right. It's given with the background he got, he shouldn't even be talking like that. And I thought those was points that you was going to make to him.
No, that's why I was asked. That's why I told him. I'm like, that's some bullshit. Go back. Yeah, play.
But you should have told him that, Mr. Oaks.
I did tell him that. I believe I did tell him, like, no, that's some bullshit, bro. And I believe I commented on what he said. It was just like, nah, bro. Like what the fuck is you doing?
Because he gonna lie. He gonna lie and say he don't watch me and what go on over here. But I distinctly heard him say, yeah, Oaks, I heard you over there talking shit. Even though you wasn't talking shit about me, I heard what you said. So he heard the things that you were saying. So even when he told you he heard what you said, that's when you should have doubled down and said, yeah, I said that. I meant every word of it too.
No, I believe that was the so he already heard. That's what I'm saying, OSD. So I knew he heard. I knew he had heard it because he already had said, I know what you want to talk about. You get what I'm saying? Once he said that, I'm like, okay, so you were over there listening. That's what I'm thinking to myself. But I wanted to ask him I think I had 2 points. I can't even remember the second point. I can't even remember the second one. But the first one was like, nigga, after everything that's been said and shown about you, why would you say some shit like that? And he was like, because it's content. It's content. I'm like, okay, so it's just about, if you go back to when I said to him, like, oh, that's content? Oh, okay, that's what it's about for you. Go ahead,
and
play
that
it,
don't
OSD.
make sense. Like, how can that be content by saying that? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. How is it content for you, nigga? It's content for everybody that's been saying what they've been saying about you.
Right. So that was the opportunity for you to tell him that, Mr. Oaks.
I believe I did, OSD. I believe I did tell him that. Like, oh, it's content. You believe his content. Yeah, you see they going crazy and all this. And that's why I say, I'm like, oh, this nigga is drunk. This nigga's gone. That's why I even asked, wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to remember who else was on the fucking panel. Um,
Well,
um
here go the video right here, Mr. Oates.
go ahead.
It's just a couple of seconds. But like I said, I grabbed just this couple of seconds of y'all conversation because to me, this is what sums up how y'all conversation went. Where he over talking, you not saying exactly what it is that you think that he's doing, and him over talking you. So this is how I go. This is how I went. Hold on.
Go to somewhere else. Do you
Can you hear that?
that I'm over here?
No, I can't hear nothing. I hear you, but I can't hear the video.
You can't hear the video? Hold on.
No.
All right, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can. Hold on.
Now let me ask you this, OSD. Did you listen to it from the time I got up on the panel?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
All right. That's what I'm saying. Now, go ahead, play this portion
Yeah,
with you.
I'm
I
about to
still
play the
can't hear
portion.
you.
Hold on. Let me see.
And you,
Let me see if you can hear this.
no, you
Can
got to
can
echo.
hold on.
Content. If you don't
So
want
let me ask you this, Mr. Oates, before we get off this conversation.
Can you hear that?
yeah, I can hear that. I can hear it. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. I'm about to mute my mic.
Go to somewhere else. Do you think that I'm over here?
Okay. So go ahead and give them the content. If you don't
So
want
let me ask you this, Mr. Oates, before we get off this conversation and go to somewhere else. Do you think that I'm over here talking about somebody's children?
no, I think you're just trying to agitate niggas.
Go to somewhere else. Do you think that I'm over here?
Okay. So go ahead and give them the content. If you don't
So
want
let me ask you this, Mr. Oates, before we get off this conversation and go to somewhere else. Do you think that I'm over here talking about somebody's children?
no, I think you're just trying to agitate niggas.
Go to somewhere
Okay.
else.
Now
Do
I
you
hear that.
think that I'm over here?
Okay. So go ahead and give them the content. If you don't
So
want
let me ask you this, Mr. Oates, before we get off this conversation and go to some.
now OSD, I think at that point in the conversation, I had already said what I had to say to him. And the fact that he was um kept repeating the same fucking bullshit. That's why I think it's like, nah, you really trying to agitate niggas now. At that point, it was just like it's just about and when I say agitate niggas, it's like, okay, you already know how people think about you. You know what people say about you. I think at that point in the conversation, if I remember correctly, at that point in the conversation, that's what he was over there. That's what he was trying to do. That's why he was saying certain shit, Christmas gifts and all this other shit. And it's just like, I think I had already made a point to him, like, bruh, what the fuck is you over here talking about? You talking about sending niggas Christmas? And I told him earlier in that live, like, nigga, I'm like, you over in this motherfucker, you talking about, yeah, well, tell your daughter I got Christmas gifts for her. And I told him, like, what the fuck is you talking about? And I think I made a point about him. I'm like, what type of response were you looking for? You trying to provoke a response. You know what type of response that's going to bring up. I believe I said that. You know what type of response that could bring about. That'll make a nigga pull up on you. And that's going to end up ugly. And then I made the point to him about everything. Okay, you got this. You a father. You a homeowner. You don't own no business. You ain't married. Okay, all that shit. It was just like, okay, nigga, you got everything that you got going on to lose. And you would try to provoke a response like that.
All right, hold on right quick, Oates. Lou, I see you backstage, but I'm hollering at Oates right now. I'll let you up in a few. I'm hollering at Oates right now. I didn't want to have a bunch of people up here, asking questions and getting into the convo. This is a conversation I wanted to have with Oates.
I want you to just put my name in the title. I'd have been up here.
I won't about to put your name in the title and do none of that stuff. Like I said, when you come over and you wanted to know, what was going on or whatever the case is, I would have told you. I ain't got no problem doing that. But I won't about to have your name all in the titles and Oaks, let me holler at you. Let me do. Nah, I mean I could say everything that I needed to say to you when you came over.
No, I'm glad I hit the I came back here. I just came in the door and seen I heard you because the phone was already on. I heard you. It was like maybe Mr. Oates would pull up and what I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Hold on. That's why okay. So like I said, I can stand the checking. Maybe I didn't handle it in the manner I should have.
Yeah, because and I truly believe you didn't handle it in that manner because of how he continued to talk in that way and even was more comfortable doubling and tripling down by playing R&B songs and naming content creators, not naming they underage daughters, but naming the content creator and mentioning they underage daughters and saying this song for you. I got gifts. I got Valentine's Day. Speaking about underage girls, talking about Valentine's Day.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
That's not cool.
Exactly.
And also saying people lying when he not lying because you sat over here and heard me play videos of his and gave commentary of his words. So how can I lie about that, Mr. Oaks? So for him to say to you that I'm lying on him, you could have been like, no, because I've been over there and checked that.
No, and I told him
to you,
I heard the shit. I told him I heard the shit. I'm like, this shit, what you said was some bullshit. I said something along those lines. What you said was some bullshit, bro. I heard your words. Whether you try to say they clipped up or whatever, I heard this shit. Like tell you, and then with the I can't remember if I mentioned it to him about when he was saying like, she can get it. Ask her how she want it. I can't remember. I'm like, this is some bullshit, bro.
Right. You told me that, but you ain't tell him that.
It was somebody else on the panel that was. I was like, I was saying like, somebody else ended up on the panel later, and I was like, why don't you just stop fucking talking about it? Why don't you just shut the fuck up? And it was somebody who was just like, no, they ain't gonna. Why should I? I think he said, why should I stop? They ain't gonna stop.
Nah, and like I said,
I can't remember who that was. I can understand the point you're trying to get across right now. Maybe
because we're having we had a conversation we had over here when you came up and was like, whoa, am I hearing what I'm hearing? I'm like, yes, what you hearing? And you like that's wrong. That he tripping. He got it fucked up. And then to see you didn't keep that same energy when you went to go talk to him, I'm like, well, what the fuck is Mr. Oaks up there doing?
No,
you supposed to be checking that shit from the door. And he wanted to have a conversation. I know you brought it up saying, hey, I want to holler at you another time. But as you can see, that rat wanted to have that conversation then. So, Mr. Oaks, it's never been a time when you've been over here, you bit your tongue with anything you needed to say. So why was you biting your tongue when it came to that rat?
I ain't gonna necessarily say I bit my tongue, but I guess you could put it like that, OSD. I guess you could put it like that. But maybe it's like, because sometimes when I'm not even gonna offer no motherfucking excuse for that. I ain't gonna offer no, but like I said, he kept over talking me, and it was just like, okay, in a minute, this is about to turn into an argument, and I'm not gonna even be able to get my motherfucking point across. But I wanted to ask him 2 points, or bring about 2 points, or bring out 2 points. Okay. And I could never really get to that because he kept talking. And I was like, you on that motherfucking voodoo range, and you can't understand what the fuck I'm saying right now. Just listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. And like I told you, I was kind of tipsy that night, and high, and on that good green gas. And it was just like, okay, that's how I handled it that night. But phew, I'll put it to you like this, bro. I'm not gonna offer no excuse for that. I'm not gonna say like, okay, why didn't I say this, or why didn't I say that? Because there's no reason. That would be in hindsight, knowing how long I was over there, because I was over there for a while. And I think, right. Oh no, that was Phoenix Rising. That was Phoenix Rising that was over there, and I was trying to get him off the motherfucking subject. He kept talking this shit. I was like, cuss me out or call me a name or something, please. Just to get him away from that motherfucking subject for right now. We can always readdress the situation. I don't know if you've seen that whole live, or that whole live. You know, I believe that was Phoenix Rising. If it wasn't Phoenix Rising, forgive me, Phoenix.
Yeah, but I don't listen to nothing that broad got to say, because to me, she fried. I don't care about what nothing she say. Like, she just an extra in a movie. Like, that lady don't stand on principles to me anyway. So I don't care what she say. The point is, when you came up saying you wanted to have a conversation, he wanted to have the conversation, you should have had a conversation then and there. It shouldn't have been no trying to deviate from it when that's what he was already talking about in the first place.
No, I should listen. OSD. In hindsight, what I should have done was not even hit the motherfucking link, and because I knew he was already intoxicated. He was intoxicated. I was intoxicated. I shouldn't have had that. That's the reason why I was just like, oh, now, hold on. That's the reason why it took so long. Because I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to take it into the new year. I didn't want to bring the shit into the new year as far as I'm concerned. So,
but you hit the link, Oaks, and it happened.
I hit the link and it happened. It happened how it happened.
Right. So
but at the same motherfucking time, that is some, and the shit he was doing, when you was talking about playing music and all that other shit, because I remember Kevlo came on his panel like twice, or not his. Yeah, he come on his panel twice. I know he at least came on there once, and Kevlo was saying something about him talking about his daughter, and okay, I got that. I didn't hear him talking specifically about Kevlo's daughter. I thought he was talking about somebody else's daughter. And the moment Kevlo came back, I think it was the second time, I was trying to stop Beers from talking. Like, hey, no, stop. Okay? Hey, Beers. And then right after that, that's when I dropped off. So it was like telling me, it was like, we ain't gonna get no, we're not gonna, they gonna keep going back and forth at each other. Okay, I understand that. At the same motherfucking time, Nigga, you shouldn't have been over there playing music for nobody's daughter, nigga.
But that's the energy I'm talking about, Mr. Oaks. That's the energy you should have had for him when he was doing that silly shit. You say you was trying to prevent an argument, but who the fuck cares what he got to say? Right is right, wrong is wrong. And that rat was in the wrong. And that's the same viewpoint that you saying you pretty much sharing right now. But this is what I meant by like you supposed to have kept that energy with that rat. You had energy for something else, but not with the rat that was sitting up there doubling and tripling down. Now again, I heard him mentioning me and my loved ones, and I don't mean that. Like, listen, that don't mean anything. I'm not concerned with that because again, he must believe in God because he hasn't crossed paths with me yet, because that would be something he won't forget. Because listen, he crossed paths with me, he gonna know what's up. So I'm not worried about that content or whatever he talking about, saying that I'm lying and then doing all that tough Tony talk. But the thing is, you up there on the panel with him, and you saying you had the 2 points that you had for him, but then was trying to deviate from what you really want to talk about. You should have stuck on the point because he was saying and doing what he was doing. So you should have kept it a bean with him.
No, okay. Listen to me, OSD. Listen to me. There's only a certain amount of dialogue I could have had with him at that point in time. That was kind of, I ain't gonna say early in the live, but it was relatively early in the live. That's what I was pretty much trying to say. I'm trying to, at the same time, I'm trying to get my point across. At the same time, trying not to get start the bullshit and it turned into an argument, and next thing you know, I'm dropped down. No, I at least want to get these points out. And once I got the points out, or half of them anyway, it was like, that's when he started, or that's when he said it was about content. And I was like, oh, it's about content for you, huh? Okay.
Come on
okay,
now, Oaks. You shouldn't even accepted that, because anytime anybody does a video on a YouTube platform as content, so for him to just say it's content, that's something everybody already know anyway, because you decided to go live and say the shit that you were saying.
No,
the thing was when you would have made your points, even if he would have got the hollering and cussing and fussing, who gives a fuck, and he would have dropped you down, you still would have stood on what you were saying. But to have the thoughts that you was having, or the thoughts that you were saying when you was over here, and then when you finally go to confront him or have a conversation with him, you don't have that same energy, Mr. Oaks.
No,
it doesn't make sense. It don't look good.
That's the way you see it. I understand that. I took that was what do you call it? A soft approach to it. Okay, I can understand that. But at the same time, like I told you, and I'm not gonna blame it on nothing. I could have just went straight up there, but I was just waiting for like the opportunity, because there was other people up there before I got up there, and it was just like, okay, I'm listening to the conversation that he was having with others who were already up there. Okay, I think 86K was up there. I think he dropped down. It was somebody else, and then I think that's when Phoenix popped up. Okay, but so I came up to ask him. I was hoping it was going to be a logical. That's what I'm saying. I blame myself for not going up there clear-headed, and him not being clear-headed. I wish I would have been able to catch him on the, like his early morning show, on when he talking not politics, finances. When he was clear-headed, when he fresh in the morning. I shouldn't have went up there right then. So I put that on me.
And I get, and
But
I understand.
I got the same energy. I got the same energy.
But you didn't have
When
it,
you
Mr.
put it-
Oaks. And you
No,
know, it's been
I
times when you came up here, you say you been drinking and smoking, and you just, never had a problem saying what was on your mind up here to people that may have said things to you that you was like, hold on, what the hell you talking about? And then you say what's on your mind. So you was still in the same stage or same state of mind when you had an opportunity to speak to him, regardless of what state of mind he was in. You still, even though being under the influence, you spoke in your mind on my platform saying whatever it was. But when it came to this predator, you was dealing with him with kitten gloves. I don't understand that, especially when you
oh,
know the shit that he was saying was just downright disgusting. And that's the same thoughts and regards that you share.
I get it. That's the reason why I listen. I'm pretty sure I spoke to him about a bunch of things. I mean, about his speech, or not his speech. Fuck it. Not, I ain't talking about his speech. Damn. I'm pretty sure I said to him about the I know she can get it. Ask her how she want it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned something about that. Like, dude, like what the fuck is you talking about? I didn't condone none of his motherfucker. I still don't condone none of that. No, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? But I understand what you saying. I didn't keep the same energy. Okay, maybe I wasn't as high as and I'm not laughing trying to be funny, but maybe I didn't, like you said, keep the same energy. But I'm trying to navigate through this because I'm trying to get my point across to him. And once he told me it's all about content for him, I was like, well, wait a minute. What part of this content is favorable to you, nigga? What do you mean content? That's what I was thinking to myself. And he was like, it's all about content. And then at that point, it was just like I told you, bro, that's when I think he lost me. That's when I think I checked out. Like, oh my God. And I asked Phoenix, I'm like, call me a name or cuss me out or something. So we can start arguing. So we can get
No,
away from this.
no, 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 no. What you should have did was stayed on his helmet, because if it was in your mind to say, nigga, what the fuck you mean by that? That's what you should have said. That was the
No,
opportunity to say what you said you thought about, that you should have said, because that shit didn't make sense to you.
but when I said, I'm like, wait a minute, content. He was like, yeah, you don't see him going crazy. You don't see they going crazy. They going to fuck off, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? No,
But
but I understand you.
how's he
I
how
understand.
and again, he's saying it's about content, but this dude has been documented of doing sexual acts with underage girls, or documented a sexual offender, I should say. I won't say sexual acts, but he's been documented for crimes that was sexual,
Correct.
and a documented sexual offender. So now this takes me back to one of the first conversations we had when you said, well, could this guy be an actual threat?
And you said, yeah, he could be.
Right. So
Okay.
now I have to throw that question back at you. Now, with everything that you've been seeing and hearing up until this point, do you think this guy could be an actual threat?
Yes. I'm sorry. Did you hear me?
Oh, what you say? Say it again, Mr. Oaks.
Did you hear me, OSB?
I was saying, say it
I
again.
said, did you hear me?
Yeah, I said, say it
I
again.
said, yes. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Because of the
Yes.
behavior.
Yes. So I'm not trip. I wouldn't, if I ever had anything like that on my jacket, the last thing I would be talking about is just like that last thing I would be talking about is something that would make people believe that this is who I am or this is the type of person that I am. If that's
Right.
not who I am, if that's not who I am, or if everybody lying on me, I would never say nothing like that. I would never say nothing that would imply that I'm that type of person. But the fact that he said that when he said the thing, see, we couldn't get to the conversation. That's why I said that's why I said I regret it because I should have never hit the link. If I'd have never hit the link, we'd have never had the conversation. I should have waited till later when both of us up early in the morning, clear-headed, and approached the situation in that manner. Okay, so I chose at that time to handle it like I handled it, or try to, like, you know what I mean, steer through the conversation without really no drama, because I knew the questions I was going to ask. I really did know the questions that I was going to ask was going to provoke a whole nother type of conversation.
And what conversation would that have been?
It would have been confrontational.
And I'm over here saying, so what? Because
No.
obviously he's a confrontational person. So and he only gets confrontational to shit that's true about him.
Yeah. So that's the listen. All that, I got presents and talking about people's daughters, or talking about Valentine's Day coming up and all that other motherfucking shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. I don't. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. What are you doing? If you ain't this type of dude, stop saying what the fuck are you doing? But we couldn't get to that because it was a whole lot of over talking. It was a whole lot of interruption. Then next, like you said, he started playing music and all that. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
And why do you think he did all that over talking and doing all and carrying on letting you answer questions?
Because he didn't want to be confronted. That's the only thing I can think. He didn't want to really be or answer the hard questions. He didn't really want to, like, how can I put it? He didn't really want to go back into the issue. I think so many people done cracked him upside the head with the facts and the paperwork and all that. I think that he just, this is how he's responding now. And we never got a chance to get to the point where if you're not this person or this type of person everybody's describing you as, why would you keep saying shit that would imply that?
Right. And you know what? That's what you should have led with when he said, let's have that conversation. That very statement.
Okay, when he was saying, and that's why I asked him why. I'm like, bruh, why in the fuck? I heard what I told him. I heard what he had said, and it was just like, yeah, I know what they talking about. I know what they saying. This, that, and the other. And he kept pointing to your name, and I was just like, I think I told him on the live too. I'm like, bruh, I ain't really heard OSD talking about you. He call you something else. I call you OSD.
Right.
I'm like, why? I'm like, but if why in the fuck would you say this shit? If you care about what people think about you, I know you care about what people say, because every time somebody says something wrong about you or foul about you, you keep going the fuck off. Now, if it's wrong or if it's not true, why the fuck do you keep motherfucking? Why would you say this bullshit here? But like I told you, it was a lot of over talking. I could have handled it different, OSD, for real. I could have. But at the same damn time, it happened how it happened.
Right. And
it happened how it happened. It happened how it happened. I'm not condoning that this shit. I'm damn sure not condoning this shit, especially what we already know. I've already said before. If you plead guilty to a sex offense, you're a sex offender. I've already said that before. And we already know this to be true. Biz has pled guilty to sex offenses, nigga. Now, why would you, if that's not you, why would you say some shit that would make people believe what they already thinking? So it's one or two things. You trying to provoke motherfuckers, and he's already said he was trying to provoke motherfuckers or provoke people, agitate and bring about a response. It's either you're trying to provoke people or it's actually true, motherfucker. It don't make a difference how much you've accomplished in life and all. Okay, you made it past that. You had that incident or those incidents. You had those situations, and then you've managed to prosper after that. Okay, cool. That's fine. Good for you. You done raised your kids. You done all this. See, we could never get to this conversation. But right. you managed to raise your kids and do good for yourself or all that shit. But the fact remains that if I'm not that dude, if you want to be known as that dude who raised his kids and provided for them and I'm not this type of person and all that, shut the fuck up talking about it. Don't stop giving any indication that would make people believe that that's who you are. So it's either that or the shit is true. What everybody's thinking about you is either a truth or a lie. But if you come out your mouth and say something that makes people lean towards like, oh, this who this motherfucker really is. How the fuck you gonna be mad when they actually put that look at you like that, perceive you like that? I'm not under no illusions, OSD. I'm not under no motherfucking illusions. That shit don't make sense to me. That's why I tried to come up being sensible. That's why I was asking questions at first. That's why I pointed out what he was talking about. And that's how I knew he had already seen the conversation that was over here. Well, he was like, yeah, I know which way. And he didn't call nobody else's name, but like I said, he called you something else. But I knew who the fuck he was talking about. Like, oh, that's okay. That's what you called him. All right. So either it's true that you this motherfucking deviant or not. Shut the fuck up talking about it. If it's not true, shut the fuck up. And I'll tell him that. I'll tell him. I think I told him that on the like, shut the fuck up talking about this shit. The fuck are you doing? Then it was like, well, why should I stop talking about it? They ain't gonna stop talking about it. Nigga, what? That's when I think it was just like, no, you can't blow my high like this. You can't blow my high. I think that's the point where I asked Miss Phoenix, I'm like, can you call me a name or something or cuss me out? And so we can let's get away from this real quick. Because that was fucking.
No, y'all should have got into that conversation. because what you saying,
you think
what I'm saying, Mr. Oaks, hold on, listen what I'm saying.
go ahead.
With everything that you're saying right here, that was the opportunity you definitely should have took again to say those things, because he was the one that wanted to have that conversation, because he know those things to be true. He know those things to be true. And by you saying what you saying now, of course, the conversations we having, these are all things that you should have said. And again, you say you was under the influence and you wasn't in your right state of mind, and you saying he wasn't in his right state of mind, which your thoughts don't have nothing to do with his, especially if what you're telling me, what you're saying now, that was still an opportunity in a window for you to say exactly what it is that you needed to say.
But did you remember I kept stopping him, kept trying to stop him?
And you kept trying to stop him, but again, you say you was getting over talked. You sitting up there on the panel while he playing songs and doubling and tripling down on more of the sick shit that he was saying. And I'm reverting back to when you be over on my platform, and if you feel like it's somebody that's cutting you off from talking, that's a panelist or whatnot, you have no problem telling them, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're right.
You didn't do that.
But no, I couldn't get. I wanted to get all my points out. Okay, and that was like by the time I got the first point out, in regards to, do you think this is like, if you care about how people think about you, I know you care about what they say, but it's like, do you think this really, after everything that's been said, do you think this is going to be like, this is beneficial for you? I just got that one out. I had to wait a few more minutes. Go back and look at the live. I had to wait a little bit longer to actually get the second point out. And it was like, you know what, man, this is draining my motherfucking brain. Like I told you, bro, I ain't gonna make no excuses for it. But I'm like, this shit is draining my motherfucking brain, and you motherfucking blowing my high, nigga. Like, you can't even fucking have this conversation. I'm thinking this to myself. I remember thinking that, like, you can't even have a conversation. Oh my God, I'm dead wrong for this. I'm dead wrong. That's why I said I should have never hit the link. Under the influence that or at that certain point, I should have never hit the link. I should have waited. But I understand what the fuck you're saying. OSD, I understand what you're saying. But I got it. It's beers over in this motherfucker. Watch. If he watch, I know it. He got to be watching. He knew about our last conversation, so I know he know about this motherfucker. That's bullshit. That ain't content. That's not. Well, I ain't gonna say it's not content, but that's not. No, that ain't no cool shit to do, bro. Or no cool content. That's not no cool content. Now, I believe that's where we would have got to after he was talking about, and I believe I mentioned it to him when he was saying, what did you play the other night? What was that? She can get it. Ask her how she want it. Just like, nigga, what? That's the reason that was the real thing right there. Like, wait a minute, hold on.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you saying?
We could never get to that. Ask her how she wanted. See, that's what makes everybody is going to continue. That's what I was trying to tell him. It's like, nigga, do you know what motherfuckers about to do with this? And I didn't hear it when I heard it over here, when the way you like broke it down, it wasn't just like one clip. It was just like a whole, but it was like you played a portion, you played him saying this, you paused, gave your commentary, you played him saying this, you gave your commentary, you played him this, giving commentary. And it was just like, wait a minute. Like, what the fuck type of time is this nigga on? So I had to, I selected like I said, I selected the wrong time. The wrong motherfucking time. Flat out, period, point blank. That was it. I should have never hit that link right then. But I was overthinking it. But the fact is, when you hear a motherfucker say, it's just like your daughter, tell your daughter, I got presents. Okay, that's red flag 1. Yeah, Santa Claus coming to town. Red flag. I got presents. Red flag 2. Tell her, she can get it. Ask her how she want it. Oh no. And then that's why I was trying to get across to him as far as because he said he was trying to provoke a response. What type of response are you trying to provoke? That's what I wanted to get across to him. That what type of response are you trying to motherfucking provoke from a young girl's father? That'll get your ass pulled up on. For real. Not just pulled up. The nigga sneak up on you and handle your business and leave you laying somewhere. So that's pretty much what I was trying to get to with him, but like I told you, it was all the back and the over talking, the back and forth, and it was just like I had ended up losing my motherfucking, I ain't gonna say my train of thought, because I knew I wanted to get those points out. It's like, what are you doing? And he told me, ain't nobody motherfucking pulling up on nobody. And when he say, you really think I'm up here talking about people's kids or young kids? Okay, I might have said, no, I think you're trying to agitate niggas. Because that's after he said he's trying to provoke a response. You trying to do that now to provoke a motherfucking response. So after everything, what everybody believes about you or knows to be true, you gonna try to provoke a motherfucking response by talking about a nigga's daughter? But like I said, the conversation it never transitioned to that, bro. It never, I can't, I'm not going to blame it on nothing. It just didn't transition into that. I was trying to get like, all right. Let's get away from that. Let's get away from that. Because this nigga, he's saying it's all about content for him. There can be no content. If me and you got on here if we on here right now and we arguing, and I'm talking about you and me, OSD, if we arguing, nigga, why would you provoke content that would help me or be favorable to me? Imagine if you saying some foul shit about me that I just said is a lie, and I only give you more ammunition. I say something more or less doubling down on it. And it's like,
right.
Oh,
so you knowing that that's wrong, you knowing that don't make sense, you should have expressed that, especially him saying, well, speaking in a sexual manner about other male content creators, underage daughters. Like you that's something you wouldn't do, right?
No, I wouldn't do no shit like that. I don't fuck with kids.
So with children involved, that's what I mean. That weirdo behavior, that weirdo shit, period. That's what you should have checked them on. because that's really what the most shit he did when you was up there. That weirdo shit. And to me, it was just windows, Mr. Oaks, where you just could have said, fuck out of here. What is you doing right now? You already got that shit in your background. Why you up here talking about these underage girls like that?
And that's more or less the point I was trying to. Maybe I should have
And I
worded
know
it.
you said it was for the sake of you wasn't trying to have a back and forth or argument with them and this, that, and the third. But things like that, it's necessary. You didn't give them no pushback. You just let them fly off the handle and pretty much take off, and you wasn't even able to get any of the points that you're saying right now to him, and you let that rat overtalk you instead of making them points to him and letting him know that the shit he doing is fucked up, especially with the background he got.
And that's the point I was trying to get. But you what you're saying is true. I can't. What you're saying, OSD, is true. All right. I pretty much, because I wasn't able to get them points. I wasn't able to express them because it was so much like over talking. And then next thing you know, it was music playing. I'm like, man, what is this nigga doing? And then, like I told you, it's certain people who feel the same as he does. That's why I told you it was. I remember now. It was Phoenix Rising that was up there, and when I said, why don't you just stop talking about it? Why don't you just like shut the fuck up? And it was like, I think Phoenix Rising came out and was just like, why? They ain't gonna stop. I'm like, what? Okay, all right. I see what I see where your head space is. When I got to that point where I pretty much let it go, I was like, oh, it's about content for you. At some point in that video, you heard me, if you listen to it all, you heard me say like, oh no, that like, nigga, stop talking about it. And Phoenix said something, and I was just like, and like I told you, I told her, I was like, what? He went to do something. He had a phone call or went to do something. Or I was like, hey, Phoenix, I'm like, why don't you cuss me out and call me a name or something? And she was like, no, I don't just cuss nobody out and all that. And, because I was trying to get away from it, because I seen where it was just like, no, ain't no sense. There's no common sense here. He thinks that he's responding correctly, or this is the best way to. That's why I was like, okay, this is how you gonna fight. Okay, go ahead. That's the only thing I'm saying. I know what live you're talking about. That's the reason why I don't need you. Like when I heard you say my when you said my name, I was like, what the hell? The fuck I do now? I'm like, what the fuck I do now?
Yeah, I heard that conversation, how it went, and I was like, okay, now, Mr. Oaks ain't keep that same energy. We discussed this. We had a conversations about it. You heard some audio. You heard my commentary. You sat through the show. You came up as a panelist and expressed your thoughts and opinions on the panel. The energy wasn't the same when I watched that video, so yes, that's why I mentioned it.
Listen to me real quick, OSD. A lot of what I have to say about this situation, and see, I'm forgive me, Miss Queenie. I don't know if Queenie over here, but a lot of what I have to say about this situation or this issue, this person, I was gonna share that with her on a live interview, because I done seen the paperwork. I done gathered my own opinions, or my own, not opinions, my own opinion. Okay. So that was, so when I had that motherfucker, so he already knows how I feel about this situation to a certain extent. Now it's subject to get deeper, like when I respond. But I promised Miss Queenie that I would come up and talk to her. That's the only person that I told. I was like, hey, all right. She asked that to me. That was whose panel was that on? I think it was Anthony's. Um, and she came up. It was three women. I think it was Miss Queenie, highly favored, and maybe Cheeks.
Okay.
And
So
I
uh,
said when as soon as I'm done reviewing this paperwork, going over my notes, all that. That's what I'm doing before I even start really talking about it. That's what she said. Can you come over when you finish looking at the paperwork and the videos and this, that, and the other, and can you come up and talk to me? I said, yeah, Miss Queenie, I got you. So my word, I gave her my word. So I'm not reneging on that.
well,
But
the thing is, I'm not I'm not even referencing that. You know, if that was something you was going to do, that's fine. But you stating you're familiar with his background, you've seen the black and white when it comes to this individual. What I'm asking is, what is your overall synopsis? Now, you say you're gonna do an interview. That's cool. Whoever whatever content creator you're doing an interview with, that's fine. But knowing what you know now, what is just your overall synopsis of just the individual that we're speaking about, which is the rat pedal coin 101?
I don't think I would. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me make sure I choose my words correctly. I wouldn't. You add everything to it, all things included. Let me. After the things I heard that you played, the audio that you played, I'm talking about you, OSD.
Well,
So,
pretty
yeah,
much all
no,
the information,
yeah, all the information
everything
and
up until this point,
okay,
whatever you've read. You said you've read
yeah,
documents. You said you
yeah,
done heard audio. You done heard audio over here. What is just your overall synopsis of just this entity that goes by the name of Biz 101?
okay. Beers, and I'll say this to Beers if he's watching. Um, and I'll say it to him later. Based upon everything I've read and everything I've heard, Beers, you're a threat. Okay, bro? I'm gonna just put it to you like that. That's the way I look at it. I see him. I just see. That's in the simplest terms I can put it, without saying too much more. You're a threat, bro. And that's how I even got started over here on OSD's channel, because somebody asked the question. No, I asked the question. I'm sorry. Is he a threat? So I actually consider, based upon the words that I heard coming out of your mouth. I'm not gonna say pause because I don't pause and I don't did it. But you're a threat, bro. You're a threat because a motherfucker that really is not on that type of time wouldn't speak as you speak. I don't care about your accomplishments, and what. No, I just don't. It's a threat. I would never, 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 never do that type of shit that I just seen you do or just heard you do, or I mean that I ain't even talking about your past. Forget the past right now. You just more or less keep speaking words out of your mouth that align with you being a threat or being that type of individual. The person that everybody's saying you are, person is saying you, the type of person that they're saying you are, I would no, I don't know. I would never keep doing that. So there has to be a reason for it. You could say it's to agitate niggas, to build content. That content is not going to be favorable to you. So I'm not understanding like why you would even go there. Only thing it says to me is you a threat, dude. You a threat. Like when I came over here and they were saying certain things, and you're a threat. So I mean I don't know no other way to put it.
Well, that's what I was about to. Well, I understand you say he's a threat, and you care to go in detail as to what you may have seen that made you come to the conclusion that he was a threat, and what kind of threat is he?
He's hey, if you're not with number one, we already know you've already pled guilty to sex offenses.
Right.
Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me be a little bit more specific.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Sex offender against minors.
Right.
Okay. So the fact that you are talking or making certain comments about minors makes me think you might be a threat to a sexual. No, how can I put this? Hold on. Let me get this shit right. You keep making threats against mine, or you've been convicted of sexual offenses against minors, but yet and still you keep making comments, sexual comments, and anybody can read them however they want to, but I know how I would read them. Okay. You make me think you are a sexual you are a sexual threat against minors. Does that make sense to you, Beers? That's all I'm saying. It's just like the words. I'm trying to like I tried to like get past the shit and look at it from like all perspectives. But it's just like from what I've read already, and then you double down on it with words. How else am I supposed to look at it, bro? So I really don't know what that's like. Like you said when I asked the first question, like, is he a threat? And I believe it was you, OSD, was like, yeah, it could be. Yeah, I can believe that, Biz. I don't know a motherfucker that does that. But hey, maybe that's you. It's content for you. Okay, go ahead. You use it for a reason to keep beefing with these niggas on YouTube or whatever. I would never do. If I'm not that type of individual, I would never um, like make them type of jokes. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. So I really don't know where you coming from with that, but it's like that. I all the red flags went up. All the red flags went up. So it's like, even though it's just like, you got to figure that shit out, bro. You better figure it out. I don't know what the fuck it is going on in your life, or what went on in your life, or whatever. Well, I know some things that went on in your life, but no, I don't. You are. I can't knock anybody that sees you as a threat. I can't. I can't, because that's the behavior you've demonstrated. Not just the behavior, you spoke on it. So, I mean, in my opinion, if you claim you're not that dude, then you should work just as hard as you fight to convince people that that's not the person you are. You should. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me take that back. Hold on. Let me make sure. Ooh, shit. Just as much as you argue, just as much as you argue to show, I mean, yeah, to argue that you're not that person or that type of person, you should be more focused on demonstrating the behavior that demonstrates you're not that type of person. Now, if you want to keep sitting on here playing games with motherfuckers on YouTube, keep going back and forth with the bullshit, you go ahead and do your thing. But if you don't want people to believe that about you, then start demonstrating some better behavior. Let's say that. Work just as hard. As much as you talk against those people who claim these things about you, as much as you argue with people about what's already history, I would say push even harder with your behavior to demonstrate otherwise. And that's really the only thing I can say about it, OSD. That's I mean, I know my history. And I'm not I'm not a saint. I ain't got no shit like this on my jacket. But at the same motherfucking time, it's just like, and I believe I told him this. I'm like, people will define you by your worst moments in life. And it seemed like you ain't doing nothing but, not you OSD, but Biz, you ain't doing nothing but helping people define you by your worst moments, because you keep, I'm not going to necessarily say you keep doing the same thing, but you're saying things that line up with your history. And I don't know why you think that would be an easy thing to bounce back from, or not bounce back, but to change from. You're still supposed to have a counselor and a therapist and all that. So I really don't know what else to say. OSD.
I get it. Um, that's really what I wanted you to do. You know, say exactly like you've always done on my platform. You know, speak your mind, and you already know the how can I put it? The silver lining is when you go over to express those same thoughts over to him, the energy should always be the same. But to say what you said just then, that's why, you know, I gave you that opportunity to say whatever, you know, what it was that you needed to say, given that you know the information that you know about this particular entity, and say what it is of how you view him from your perspective. So if y'all ever have a dialogue, those should be the basis of what it is that you should be saying to him when y'all are engaging in some type of conversation.
No, I get you. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But keep. Now, I ain't gonna make no excuses. I ain't gonna make. But I'm not gonna say but either. Um, it took me a minute to get on that panel because I was waiting for people to get off the panel because I wanted to talk to him. By that time, like I told you, I was already I wasn't even intoxicated. Um, when I first hit the live. I mean, when I first hit the live in the chat, I wasn't even intoxicated. But I didn't want to talk to nobody else other than him because I knew they.
So you wasn't under the influence when you was on the panel?
No, yeah, I was. I said when I first hit the chat. When
you first got okay.
Yeah,
so you started drinking while you was in the chat.
I'm drinking and smoking, and I'm waiting for certain people to get the fuck out the way. And then I seen what the conversation was about and all that. Okay, all right, cool. This cool. But I'm not gonna go up there and like if me and you had this issue, or not this issue, but we had an issue, like where we really needed to conversate. I would wait for whoever's already on your panel to get missing. I don't want to. I don't want to have it to where nobody, because I know how it's going to turn out. I know how it's going to turn out, and I ain't gonna say no names right now. I will later. If the wrong shit is said, I will say a name, but or names. But I didn't want to go up there while it was other people on the panel. So that's why I want you to go back and look at the entire live. Look at the first, before I hit the live, see who was actually on the panel. No, I don't want you in the way. I don't come to talk to you. I didn't come to talk to you. So go back and actually look at that and see how it was set up. It was just like, okay, let me listen to this live real quick. So it's like me coming up here and it's on your live, and it's you, Disco Lance, you, Disco, and Lou, or you, Disco, and Cheeks. See, some people ain't even got no discipline. They can't even go on mute, man, and let people just talk. They're gonna interject. I recognized that when I came up there. Or not when I came up, not on the panel, but into the live, into the chat. I was just like, all right, let me wait a minute. So I done went and ordered a pizza. I'm drinking, I'm smoking. Oh, okay, they still talking. All right.
Right, you was pretty much trying to see if you had an opportunity. But you know, when it's an open panel, you know, you just pretty much put that conversation out there, and wherever direction it go. But let me highlight this super chat right quick. Shouts out to Carl Belton. Shout out to Carl Belton for the $20 super chat. He says, salute OSD, 100 emoji. Fuck kids 101 and whomever fuck with his evil, miserable rat. Shout out to Carl Belton for the $20 super chat. Y'all show some love to Carl Belton for supporting the channel. Appreciate you, Carl Belton. Shouts out to y'all in the chat. I see y'all. Roy Lee, what's up?
Who in there cussing me out? Because I can't see the chat.
Brittany Smith, what's up? Mrs. V, Mala Stoner, what's up? Mika, I saw Triple S earlier. Triple S, what's up? Triple S.
Salute to Mika.
Cara So Sweet, what's up? Swagtastic. Lou Jenkins. D, what's going on?
Salute to stinking ass Lou.
KTC. Mrs. Eve. Miss Eve, I'm sorry. The John Show.
Salute to John Show.
Who else in the building? Yam Sam, man. What's up, G's?
Yam Sam, man. Oh, you sucker.
He talking shit to you.
Yeah, I know. You sucker, mother.
Trinity Time Travels was here. What's up? Never seen you before, but welcome. D Grant.
I think I seen D Grant.
I serve hypes. Who else? I'm scrolling up. I seen some people. Shay, what's up, Shay? Shouts out to y'all in the chat, man. Hope you all are enjoying the content. We got Mr. Oaks up here sharing his thoughts and opinions about this PDF file, Pedalcorn 101. Let's see. Who else in the building? Just shouts out to the chat, man. Appreciate y'all.
How many people you got in the building, OSD?
Let's see. We got 76 people in the building. Shouts out to 76 people in the building.
For sure. Shout out to y'all.
Y'all popped out, man. Shouts out to y'all. Yeah, shouts out to y'all, man. Flying Low. What up, Flying Low?
Flying low. Yeah, he's flying low.
Appreciate y'all in the chat, man. We got Mr. Oaks up here. You've heard his thoughts and opinions about Biz 101. I've said what I said to you. You know, you said you understood my point of view as far as, you know, I'm all about saying, you know, keep the same energy. When you having a conversation with him, of course, you don't have no problem expressing yourself over here, that's what I want for everybody. But when it comes to a situation where you're really trying to get some understanding and some clarity, it's always best to keep that same energy, even in that setting. I get it. It was variables in the midst of it, but you know, a conversation could have took place whether it went left or right. It still would have happened, you know. So, you know, it happened the way it happened, and you saying it's gonna go, you know, where it's gonna go, you know, whenever you speak to him. If you have another dialogue, I don't know, but that's why I wanted to speak with you, so you know where I was at with it and what I observed in the conversation, and I just wanted to let it be known to you of what I observed because of the conversations we've had over here, and me observing the conversation you've had with him. And right. I'm like, well, that don't make sense because it's the conversation flow is different. Like he handling him with kitten gloves when he shouldn't do that at all for the fact that he cutting you off from actually trying to have a conversation, all to try to deflect from the actual talking points that you have for him, because he knew you wanted to have a conversation with him, but still was cutting you off from having a conversation because he didn't really want to have that conversation. So, just wanted to put all that on display, man.
I understand that, bro. I understand that. That's what I'm saying. When you were saying, or when you just said, handle it with kitten gloves.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, what's Mr. Oaks doing over there handling that man with kitten gloves, man?
I understand what you're saying, but like I'm telling you, listen. If I had started my channel already, this conversation could have been had over there. But I don't have my channel, so I had conversations with a bunch of people on their panels, and they get mad and drop me down. No, I want to exactly. I mean, let's get this shit out. Not you. I'm not saying you, because you ain't never like dropped me down or tried to keep. But some people will try to prevent you from saying what they want to say. Now, I don't care if when I finally get my channel going, it's not gonna be you come up say something I don't like and I drop you down. But I've experienced that enough. I've seen that enough. People don't like my dialogue, or don't like how I express myself, or don't like, or don't appreciate or approve or agree with what I'm saying. Okay, so that might have made me a little bit I don't know if you know this term, gun shy. That
Yeah,
might
but
have been.
it would have been necessary. You still would have got your point off if he would have dropped you.
No, that might have been. No. I want to.
You still would have said what you said. You know what I'm saying? Even if
When
he
I
dropped
come
you or
up,
not, that looked bad on his part. That wouldn't have had nothing to do with you, because you
okay,
was up there trying to have an actual conversation. He wasn't. So if he would have dropped you because you asking him a question or saying stuff for clarity, that makes him look bad and show how low his comprehension skills is. So
okay.
if he dropped you,
At
it
the
wouldn't have
same
been the end of
time,
the world.
OSD. It's just the same. You see how we've been sitting up here kicking it for a minute? I want to actually be able to get my point across. And then you go ahead and respond. You can kick me off the panel. You can ban me. You can, go ahead, do what you want to do. But as long as I get my point across, and it's to a certain extent, it's like, no, I feel this is about to happen. I feel like this was about to happen right here, because I seen it happen on other people's panels. And I ain't mad at them. They just don't like, no, we ain't doing that over here. Okay, all right, fine. I done been up here. I done been on people's panels talking about relationships, the beef, politics, and they don't. No, they like, no. You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. And I'm not gonna name no content creators. I'm not gonna not. OSD, give me a second. I gotta answer this call, okay?
All right, I got you, man.
All right.
Shouts out to the chat. Shouts out to y'all, man, sharing y'all thoughts and opinions in the chat. I see y'all out there. I think he does, Swagtastic. I'll ask him when he comes back. Is he a demon? But I'll ask him. But that was really why I let him go ahead and say what he gonna say. But it's all about keeping that energy, man. You gotta keep that energy now. You said good thing the guy can't read the chat. He get his feelings hurt. Hey.
All right. Hey, can you hear me, OSD?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Give me a minute, bro. I need to handle something in the business. I'm in the building right quick.
I got you.
Like 2-3 minutes.
I got you.
All right. I'm back at you, OSD.
Okay, I got you. Oh yeah, Mrs. V, you're right. There's nothing wrong with holding people accountable when they present themselves to be two-faced.
No, and tell her. Make sure you tell her. No, I'm not two-faced. Just a matter of how we handle things, like at different. I say different times. I guess I should say I'm not two-faced. I don't do that. I'm not gonna come over here and I might have said it in a different way. To try to be, because you have to. It's like if I'm handling something with you, it's similar to me conversating with you, OSD, and somebody else. Or let's say no. I'll even be more deliberate. I'll be more intentional than that. Let's say I'm having a conversation with you in Biz. That don't mean the you about Biz doesn't apply. Like you said, I had on the kitten gloves.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
handling with kitten gloves.
I get, yeah, nigga, no, not even kitten gloves, nigga. You had on mittens.
Yeah, they would definitely some.
I get
mittens.
that. I get how people could draw that conclusion. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that at all. And I'm glad that, see, this conversation was meant to be had, because I would have never, like I told you, I came back in the door. I left my phone in the house and it was already on your live. And you was about ready to end the live. And you said, well, hopefully Mr. Oates hit the, I said, wait a minute. What's going on? But I came back in right at you might have ended the live before I even hit the link. I believe that was meant to be. This conversation was meant to be, because I'm telling you, literally, when I came back in the door and I heard my name, I was like, what the hell? Wait a minute. So I hit the link to see what you wanted to talk about. And when you said that, and then you mentioned a couple of things, I was like, oh, I knew what he wanted to talk about. I know what he wanted to talk about. At least that conversation. I don't know specifically what part of the conversation or whatever, but like you said, you interpreted it as you did. I'm not mad at you for that, bro. But I'm not in no way, shape, or form two-faced. I'm not going. You've never heard me on. If we gonna go side for side, you never heard me going to somebody else talking about OSD like he on some bullshit. Only thing I ever said about you, OSD, was like, dude, like he mentioned this, but for the most part, since I've been over there, he ain't never said nothing about you. That's what I told Biz. And I might have missed some shit because I didn't know who you was talking about. Maybe you was using another name, like he used another name for you. I'm like, I don't remember him talking about you, motherfucker. I'm pretty much, for the most part, we over there chopping it up, kicking it. So don't think I'm no, I don't get down like that. I ain't got a lie to kick it. So if you find something where you think I'm being two-faced or something like that, yeah, bring it to the forefront. And like I told you,
and that's why I did what I did today, you know, as far as opening up the line of communication, because, you know, with that phrase, you don't got a lie to kick it. It can be perceived that way because of how that conversation went between you and Biz, and you sitting up there on the panel the way you was sitting up there while he was doing all those shenanigans and doubling and tripling down on the sick shit they was doing. It can be perceived that way. So that's why I said, let me have a conversation with you to figure out as to why you didn't have that same energy like you would normally have over here when we speak about the sick shit that he does, and go have that same energy when you're talking to him when he was even doing more fuck shit when you was up there. That's why I definitely wanted to see what was the difference. Like, why was you playing the conversation the way you was playing with him?
Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what I've been experiencing over here on your panel, OSD. All right. I experienced pretty much like conversation going back and forth. Maybe we talking, not me and you, but we talking shit back and forth. Like we over here chopping it up. That's for the most part what I've experienced on your. Okay. Now, over there, I understand it's a whole lot of beef with a whole lot of people. You ain't never heard me on that panel. I don't believe so. Hold on, let me think. No, I don't believe you've heard me like in the middle of the back and forth between who they talking about. It's like,
well, you've had strong opinions about people you don't necessarily care for. So when you have a conversation,
who you talking about? Who you talking about? And but no, don't put no names on it.
Well, you know, I know the people that you necessarily don't care for, just like you know the people you don't necessarily care for. And whenever you are on a panel or there in a chat or anywhere where you at, you express those thoughts and opinions very stern about the people you don't care for. So I was already looking at that like, okay, well, in this same situation where you know that the shit that you're hearing is fucked up, that you would still take that stern approach with someone that you actually want to have a dialogue with.
There's only I'm
guessing rock with. So I would think you would still take that approach.
No,
with kitten gloves.
OSD, listen to me. There's only a handful of, I ain't gonna say a handful of people. Well, 1, 2, maybe 4 people who I really don't have no it's like 4 people that I really don't fuck with on this app. When I call them certain names or whatnot, we can be up here and I call Lance Disco. I ain't got no problem with Disco. Not for real. Not even on this app. I just call him Disco, just for the sake of calling the nigga Disco. But there's certain people who I noticed this since it's like I ain't gonna say chase me, but I will say chase me. They chased me over to your panel. They found me, or let's say, put it like that. They found me over your panel. Particularly, I think it was where one or two people, I know it was one at least, came over here and found me. So that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, this shit, YouTube shit for real. They chasing me down now. I ain't even got no channel. They talking shit about me. They dogging me. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So on everybody else's panel that I be on, there's nobody actually. Maybe that's because those people don't go over there. Maybe that's the issue. But over here on your panel, I have never. Only Tim, when I come over here, it's usually Lance, Lou. Let me think of who else. Just Jay. Kiss My Cheeks. I ain't had no beef with them. We just conversating. We chopping it up. Okay, you got a problem? Oh, I said this. Okay, well, okay, my fault. But it's never like a real life. Like I don't like dislike these people. There's only a certain few that I really don't like. Everybody else, I don't care. If we in the chat talking shit to each other, I ain't never really like when at nobody real like deep.
Well, this the thing. It's not about, being this place, that place, and all these places. It's just about you expressing yourself wherever you are, the same way wherever you go. That's what it's about.
Right, but you see now I ain't gonna say now, but you can't in some on some panels or in certain channels. I can say these things. I can say how I feel about these people, and guess what? You out of here. But you allow the content, or you allow the conversation. And like I said, I know how to, if when them people talking, the people I have problems or not problems with, but who I necessarily don't like, I can hit the mute button and let them talk. And then I come off mute and say what I got to say. And it's like a balanced dialogue. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I mean,
no, I understand. Look, I understand exactly what you're saying. You're basically saying this. If you come over here, I will, of course, have a conversation like I'll do with anybody, have a dialogue with them. You was basically saying if you would have took the approach how you would have took it there or whatever, you would have got dropped. So your whole thing is you didn't want to get dropped just for trying to express whatever it is that you were trying to express. And well, what I'm telling you is that shit never matter, because that's the real conversation you was trying to have, whether you got dropped or not. You still gonna be able to say what you got to say. But even though you got dropped, he would have know where you stood at because of what you're saying. So regardless he drop you, that don't make you look bad. That would be a knock on him, because he can't handle an actual conversation like he claimed he does when you actually ask him real questions about shit that you observed about him. So if he dropped you, it would have been what it was. You still would have said what you would have been able to say. You shouldn't have to handle him with kitten gloves because you think you might get dropped for saying the wrong thing. That shouldn't matter. You should have went in there saying whatever it is you needed to say. Fuck how you feel.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Okay, but this is damn.
I mean,
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? It's just fuck how you feel.
No, I understand what you're saying completely. But what I'm saying is like the approach. Like I said, I think I said it earlier when we was talking. It's like about overthinking the situation.
But
Okay.
what was the overthink?
No.
I heard you say that before. You overthought it.
Because I actually want to get my point across. Even if you do drop me, let me at least get my point across and okay, then drop me. That's why I was saying overthinking. That's the only thing I was talking about as far as overthinking. I might have overthought like, okay, how should I approach this? It's like looking at this puzzle and figuring out how to maneuver or this maze. Like let me see which way I'm gonna go about approaching this. No, I ain't going that way. I'm gonna go this way. See, it's not seem like that, but as long as I come over here, as far as I'm have been over here, it's like, okay, I know I can go over here. All I gotta do pretty much is be respectful. Let whoever's saying what they saying, if we going at it back and forth, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and let you say what you got to say. Then I'm gonna expect you, not you, the content creator, but if we on the panel, I'm gonna expect you to shut the fuck up and let me say what I got to say. And if you got a rebuttal, okay, go ahead. I'm not gonna interrupt you. So we can go back and forth, but as long as that respect for the panel. Now, the panel is gonna, whoever the content creator is gonna let me know what side they on. As long as I'm not interrupting you, panel person number one. As long as I let you say what you got to say and you let me say what I got to say, we can go back and forth. We can do that. But as long as we ain't over talking each other, as long as we ain't interrupting the content and all that, that's what I'm saying as far as that. I already know that. And like I told you, there were certain people on the panel when I first even hit the live that I know who would have interrupted. Again, I'm not going to say no names right now, but there are certain people who I know who would have interrupted, who wouldn't have let the content like flow. That's similar to what happened to me on what's his name? Kevlo's channel. I just went over there and asked that man one question. And then all of a sudden it was, and directed towards me. Fuck you, bitch, you hoe, you da-da-da-da-da, you da-da-da. I'm like, man, what the? I'm like, what?
Okay, hold on. And I heard you mention this before, so I'm gonna bring us back to what we was originally talking about. So I heard you talk about the respect for the panel. So being that you didn't get that same respect on the person's panel from the actual host.
Right.
Why did you stay up there for so long if you was going by that same panel etiquette that you were saying you going by?
Because I thought it was gonna I thought eventually I'll be able to get my uh point across. But like I told you, I knew that person was intoxicated. I was slightly intoxicated. I wasn't about to argue. I was intoxicated and high as giraffe pussy. I wasn't about to uh it's just like going back and forth. It's just like, okay, let me wait a minute, because this person's panel, this the person's channel. I don't usually argue or go back and forth with content creators, the people who are actually running the motherfucking channel. I don't usually go back and forth with that. I usually, once they start talking, I'll stop for a minute, even mid thought, and I'll wait for a minute. Okay, now I'll respond. Okay, go back and forth. It's always somebody else that's why I told you I was sitting back waiting for the opportunity, I guess I should say, for them to for whoever was up there, they was talking about whatever. I'm waiting. And then I come up there and then somebody say my name and it's just like, hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Salute to you. I come in everybody's chat with the golden salute and the golden fist. Everybody's. And that's a salute to the host and get a fist. Wait a minute. The fist and the salute is for everybody. First and foremost is to the host, and then to the chat. Everybody who rock with me or talk to me, I greet them. Hey, what's up with you? Salute to you. Salute to you. If it's women, I usually add that extra hug on there. Not being creepy like Lance, but that's usually what I do. I don't usually like just jump on nobody's in the chat straight to the panel. Only reason I might have done it tonight because I heard my name. I was like, wait a minute. Hopefully Mr. Oates hit the panel. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Okay, so he must have been me. But I ain't come up here like, nigga, what my name in your mouth for, nigga? I ain't come up here like that. I didn't know what the content. I'm out. No, I just read the title. You found you, and I'm not even going to go back and look at the video, but I'm pretty sure it said, the title said something about you seen in the video and found it interesting, right?
Right.
Yeah. But
well,
then
this the thing. This the overall thing, Mr. Oates, and I don't want you to, feel like you have to, resort back to saying what you were saying. This the thing. And this is what I wanted to come from the conversation in its whole totality, is that, and I've said this earlier, just to make it, clear for you and give you clarity on my stance as far as the whole conversation. This the thing.
Okay.
You come when you're over here, you know what kind of platform I got. People can voice their opinions. You share some strong opinions and thoughts when you over here, especially when it came to Pedalcoin 101. So my thing was keep the same energy. When you go over there and he says he's willing to have that conversation, those same strong opinions and thoughts that you've shared here, you let him know that he's fucking up. And this is your thoughts and opinions about the shit that he does when he has that background regardless of, you know, you feel like you're gonna get dropped or whatever, the thing is, you still being true to yourself. It won't make you look bad if you getting dropped for something that you're actually trying to talk about and actually keep the same energy about when he says he wants to have a conversation, even though he didn't. But still, if you got even if you got one talking point out and then he dropped you, you still got that point out. That's just the overall thing for me, you know. So I get
No,
it. You know, you got the panel etiquette, you got the chat etiquette. I get that. That's just my whole stance as far as where I'm at with this whole thing.
no, I get what you're saying, OSD. I got you, bro. I got you. And
So
that's it's and we see we different individuals because when how can I put this, bro? We get to that point where like if I came over here, no, I mean let me say that. I'm gonna just put it out flat out like it is. If I only get out part of what I'm trying to say and you kick me off, okay, even though it might make you look bad in some people's eyes, but in my eyes, it's like, oh, this motherfucker done shut me down. And I ain't got my point across. I'm going to add that. I'm a complete asshole like that. Like, oh no, I'm fuming. Now I'm mad than a motherfucker. Now, you fuck around, make me go write a whole paper about your ass. Because I'm trying to come to you and have a conversation, but you don't want to have the conversation. You want to have a part of the conversation. And the fact is, you shut me down halfway through what I was trying to say. So you're not, so people is just like more or less, he was on some bullshit and he didn't know what he was talking. No, I understand that. I want everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody, to understand what it was I was trying to say. I don't care what X, Y, Z was trying to say. What I was saying, what I'm trying to say to you. That's what like would irk me. That's what like how you say. Remember I told you earlier when you said kitten gloves. uh, when I said I was sort of gun shy. That's what makes me sort of gun shy because I'm not gonna start shooting. Like once I'm up in there, it's like we talking. I'm gonna, speak my piece, and then eventually it's gonna get to the drama. According to some people, that's why I said the term gun shy. So even if I get that one point out, even if I get that one point out that I'm trying to make, you chop me down off the panel. Like as long as we've been talking up here, I could have answered one of your questions or responded to one of your concerns, questions, whatever. I could have responded to that, and let's say you would immediately kick me off. It's just like, oh no. So you don't want nobody to talk against you.
but see, that's why it's like this, Mr. Oates. You when you had your opportunity, it went the way it went. And then me having this conversation with you today, that's why I gave you the floor to say what it was that you wanted to say from just everything that you said you've observed, even down to what you've read about the entity Biz 101. So that's why I gave you the floor for that. So again,
everybody
You
in this
saying
politics,
you
bro.
you saying that
Everybody.
if you would have got dropped, that's cool. But guess what? You would have said what it was that you said that would have got you dropped, but you still would have had a means to be able to say what it is that you needed to say. And it, again, the thing, the message that I want you to take from this conversation is just keep the same energy. Just keep the same energy. The platform I got, I allow people to, of course, share thoughts and opinions. You know that, but when you in a situation like this, like that, where you're talking to, Rat 101, and he's saying he want to have that convo, you should have had it. It was no ifs, ands, buts about it. You should have had it, inebriated or not. He wanted to have a conversation. You saw how the conversation went. He wasn't really trying to have a conversation, but still would have put it out there. Got to keep that energy. But like I said, I that's why I really wanted you to come up so we can have that conversation and get some clarity, and that's what it was really about. So it's
No,
it's good.
I got you, bro. I got you. I got you. I
Yeah,
understand what you're saying. Like you
we got
said,
we got the clarity, and that's what it was. That's what it was for me. Getting clarity.
well, maybe, yeah, maybe I should have. I ain't gonna even say maybe. I should have just kicked in the door. That's what that's what I get from this, and that's only
Well,
my.
it wasn't about kicking the door. It was the fact that you already introduced the conversation. Like, hey, I want to have a conversation, but I don't want to have it with you right now. And then when he said, no, let's have a conversation right now, you could have been like, all right, hey, man, about your recent lives, and went into it. Everything pretty much you was talking about when you was on this platform. It necessarily have to you come in guns a blazing, like you said. That might not have been your approach, but you still could have said what it was that you wanted to say at that moment, especially if that's the viewpoints that you had as far as his behavior, that predatory behavior that he put on display. You could have definitely went in on that. So again, you could possibly have another attempt at a dialogue with him. Who knows? But I'm just letting you know that I seen how y'all dialogue went, and it had went a different way from when you was on my platform sharing your thoughts and opinions, and you shared some thoughts and opinions tonight. So when y'all do have a dialogue, you know the direction you going in when you have that dialogue with them.
Right, right. I got you. I got you for sure. I got you. But that's when I say kick in the door, I mean, um, maybe I should have just like hit the panel immediately and went into that. And like I told you, OSD, I'm not offering no excuses or nothing like that. Even though it might sound like that, I'm a little motherfucking intoxicated. I'm high. And I already know he high because I've been sitting here listening to this live for so long. And it's just like, okay, it's like once the traffic slowed down, that's when I decided to hit the panel or hit the link. Once the traffic slowed down, because I ain't want to, they was talking about something totally different. And but maybe I should have just kicked in the door like, hey, I should have hit the link earlier. Like, hey, my dude, let me holler at you real quick. So I can
Yeah,
see the difference. I can see the like how some people would take it. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But but it, like I said, oh, excuse me, hold on. It happened how it happened. That was my mindset then. I said I'm not making no excuses or making no um uh, not excuses, but I'm not making any. I'm not trying to make an excuse for how it went. Well, how it went. It went that way. but I know I was intoxicated and high as giraffe pussy. I knew he was already intoxicated because I seen him already. For as long as I had watched that live, I had already seen him and drinking.
Yeah, but you know,
I should have waited. So
it
I
it
no,
it was what it was. You know, you went up
I
there,
should,
so
yeah, I should. Yeah, I took
you
my
know
ass up.
you wanted to have that conversation at that
Yeah,
time. Like you said,
yeah.
you had an intention on having that conversation, and you should have went with that intention and did that. And if you know you seeing, like you said, you were going by chat etiquette and panel etiquette, and you wasn't getting that same thing, then you knew where the conversation was going. So,
No, yeah,
hey,
I should have shut it down right then. Right when he said, when I said I don't want to have this conversation right now, or we can save this for a later date. I should have left it for a later date. That's what I should have done, or I should have not ever hit the panel in the first place. So I
yeah.
no,
Shouts out, shouts
that.
out to the chat though, man.
Who in the chat cussing me out? You got to read the chat, bro.
Man, it's just well, it's just Tamika
Who
McCullough
cussing
pulled
me?
up. Um, Tamika McCullough, what's going on? You
Shout
know,
out to
the chat
Tamika.
just going up.
Shout
But
out to
yeah, I'm
Tamika.
a oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying shout out to Tamika.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, Mr. Oaks, I'm about to close this one out, man. What's your final thoughts, man?
Final thoughts to be continued.
Okay, so you got more stuff to say.
Yeah, I got more stuff to say.
All right, hey, but that's why I was giving you this live stream right here to say what it was you're gonna say. So you saying you coming back to share more thoughts and opinions about uh Pedalcorn 101?
Oh yeah, that's after the next time I do this, or next time I talk about that issue or that person or biz, it'll be on here. But the I owe Miss Queenie, I owe her an interview on how I actually feel about the whole thing.
Well,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. You gotta give her an interview, but you don't you can just actually I mean, whatever it is that you want to say. I'm not. I mean, I'm not asking to give you an interview. I mean, if you giving her an interview, that's fine. That's why I gave you the flow just to say what it was that you needed to say. If you wanted to say something real
Listen,
quick.
I said what I said tonight.
Okay.
If you hear me retract from anything I've said tonight, I have evidence behind it. But I don't believe there will be because I done looked at paperwork
Oh
and
yeah,
I've heard conversation. I've heard the behavior or seen the behavior. Okay, so there's really not much I think I don't need to retract anything.
Okay. Well, like I said, everybody heard what you said.
Right,
Um,
right.
and yeah, man, the people heard it too.